I first started experiencing symptoms of depression when I was around 15. I just started feeling really anxious about things. Things at school, things with friends, they just all seemed to be really getting on top of me, and I ended up in a really stressed out place that was quite dangerous, and it was quite sad. I was basically living inside of my head, and I was trapped in this constant cycle of anxious overthinking. I started avoiding things. I started dropping out of things that I used to find fun, like not really wanting to go out with friends and do things like that because I would feel what I now recognise as being anxious. I think if I had known what mental illness was, if I had known some of the symptoms of depression and anxiety, then I would have been able to recognise it. But the fact is, these were conversations that at that time were just never had. They weren't had at home, at school, between friends. By the time I started full-time modelling, I had had the diagnosis of depression and anxiety. However, I still didn't really know how to cope with it. I was doing some amazing things. I was shooting for huge magazines, for huge designers, travelling the world. And I did have really great experiences, and I have amazing memories from doing that. But looking back, I can see that there was just something that didn't feel right. This cycle of anxious overthinking led to a feeling of being completely overwhelmed. And it's when I got to that state of being really overwhelmed that things got really bad, and I started experiencing suicidal thoughts, and then those became more and more frequent until that kind of became my normality, and eventually I kind of became desensitized to them and didn't see them as being a big deal anymore, which they were. And that's when I attempted to take my life. I had to take a massive step back from everything, and that's kind of what I did for a couple of months. I kind of just really took it easy and rebuilt myself. And then the next big thing was telling people. For me, it was very important to open up to the people that I work with. Since I opened up and told people, I've felt the most free and the most genuine version of myself that I've ever been. People are so much more accepting of the answer, "I'm not feeling too great today," than I thought they would be. It's always good to challenge yourself, and that can be anything. You know, if you're having a day where you really are having the worst day, challenging yourself can be getting up and getting into the shower, and that can be really challenging, but it's important that you do that. And then, you know, on days when you're feeling a bit stronger, maybe you do something that you don't usually do. Maybe you get up and you do some exercise, or you go and do something that you're a bit nervous about. It's just so important to keep challenging yourself, but within the realms that you know that you're safe. Your life, which can seem very narrow at your worst, does open up. For the longest time, I was trying really hard to be what was expected of me. So I would dress and present myself in a way that I thought was expected of me as a model. I would act and walk and talk a certain way that I thought was expected of me. And it's not until recently that I actually have just kind of let myself be and accepted who I am. And that means accepting the things that aren't perfect as well. I still struggle, I still have really bad days, but those days are a lot less frequent than days where I'm present and I'm enjoying things and I'm thinking clearly. And for me, that's amazing, because I didn't think I would get to that place. I didn't think that was possible. Things are actually all right. And I feel capable of enjoying myself and enjoying my life.